And welcome to another Colin Crandall MMA handicapping breakdown for UFC 299. This is for UF Combat, United Force Combat. And I am here with the man himself, Aussie fight fan, the most brilliant handicapper this side of the equator. Or are you on the other side of the equator? He's over there in Australia. So he's somewhere having to do with some side of the equator, but he definitely knows what he's doing. Good to see you, brother. How's everything with you? How's everything in Australia?
Yeah, everything's doing good, mates. Friday afternoon here, just kind of relaxing now. So ready for this card. This is going to be a great card.
Excellent. Well, I'm excited to be here. One of my eyes is a little bit messed up. I think that a drop bear mistook my eye for some eucalyptus. Yeah. But anyway, we're trying to keep it going here, and we've got some good fights over here. There are so many of them. We don't have too much time to go over all of them, so we're going to skip a few. But Joanne Wood is now the opening fight of the night. That's a shame. The Scotswoman at one point, I think, fought in for a title, or at least close to it, and fought in main events, and she was the main or the co-main or the co-co-main. Now she's a walkout fight with Marina Moroz. Hard to say what's going to happen in that one. I think that could go either way, but I think maybe it's almost like a loser go home sort of an affair there, I think, isn't it? And if we go and look at the odds really quick, if I can, my computer's a little bit slow here, but kind of like my brain sometimes. And let me see here. But if we're going to take a look at this really quick, and this is not even wanting to load, is it? No, it's not. Anyway, do you have any quick thought on that and the odds? I think she's a slight favorite, or is Morose a slight favorite?
No, Moroz is a 2-1 favorite. This is a rematch of, I think they fought about 9 or 10 years ago. Um, Wood tapped to an armbar in the first round. I think this is pretty. I mean, there's not many weak fights on the card. I think this is kind of one of them. Um, yeah, really no interest in this fight, to be honest. I
Yeah.
think Moreau's probably gets it. Um, Wood is kind of, I think she's kind of on the downswing. We've seen the best of her. I don't think we're going to see anything great or any big changes out of her going forward. She doesn't really have a ground game. Yeah, I think it's probably lined correctly. Rose probably wins a lot more than Wood in this spot.
Yeah. You could be right. This is asking me to refresh something here. I don't know what that is, but I don't think we better when they're in the middle of recording because that's going to screw this up. In any case, okay, well, yeah, we'll see what happens there. And now all of a sudden, I can't see any other. There we go. They're back. All right. Yeah, I think you're probably right. I'd like to see Wood win, but anyway, is there a great community of people from Scotland over there in Australia where you live? Probably not much, or is there some?
We have a lot more Irish and English than Scotland. I haven't met too many Scots in my time.
That's true. That makes sense. Too bad they should bring Paul Craig over there. He would probably enjoy Australia. He seems
Oh,
like
we
he's
take him, mate. We'll take
yeah,
the Beardew any day.
he's a good dude. He's a good dude. All right, what do we have next? This is a fight that is the fourth fight of the night to me. I'm super excited about this fight. We have Michelle Pereira and Mikhail Oleksichuk. I think that is a very interesting fight because Pereira had done most of his damage at welterweight, except for a short notice, quick finish against a short notice opponent in Andre Petrovsky in his first middleweight fight. But now forced to fight at middleweight, he is going to be, I would think, a bit of an underdog against Mikhail Oleksichuk, but maybe not much. My pages are having trouble loading, so I'm not seeing. Well, there they are. Okay, I'm seeing it now. Okay, so if we look at what the odds are feeling in that fight, I'm going to say that they probably should have Oleksichuk, maybe a slight favorite. And the answer is they do not. Michelle Pereira, just a slight favorite. I'm really excited about that fight. I think both guys are badasses. Very traditional striking with Oleksichuk, great chin, just a really tough dude with a lot of pop in his punches. Big guy. I think he had also fought at light heavyweight even a couple times. But this is a really interesting fight. It's hard to get a read on this one. This could go either way. I haven't had a lot of time to focus on the card and yet, but don't know how to call. 5. Pereira, I guess, is a slight favorite for a reason, but he's virtually unproven really at middleweight, although it's probably where he should have been all along. What do you think? What's your read on this one?
Yeah,
What good bets are you entertaining for this
yeah,
affair?
I couldn't agree more. He definitely had no business at 170. He missed weight a bunch of times. He was always just a monster, and it's not the case of one of these older guys moving up because they don't want to cut weight anymore. It's amazing he ever made that weight. He's a really
Yeah.
big guy. I don't think he's going to be undersized here. He's not going to be undersized against Alan Jacek. I think he's got a clear grappling advantage. He's kind of stopped with all his crazy cartwheel kicks, backflips, and all that
Capoeira stuff.
nonsense that
Yeah.
was yeah, kind of costing him, in some of these spots to gas out. But he's also not very reliable. You can't trust him. If you watch his walkout, he's doing flips and crazy stuff on the way to the octagon. He's gonna be tired. He's gonna gas out. Olin Jacek, or however you say his name, um, man, he's got power. He looks deceiving. He doesn't look like he's a big strong guy. He kind of looks like he could probably fight at 170. But yeah, I kind of I thought that it was going to be a bit of a sneaky play. Pereira by submission, but that's only plus 500. I was expecting to get a really good number on that. Um, but it's obviously just built into his money line. I don't like his money line price at minus 140, so probably doesn't go the distance. He's a good bet. Um, Other than that, it should be a cracker. Whoever wins should probably win convincingly, and hopefully it's a finish along the way somewhere.
Absolutely. And I think they're both hovering near the top 20, even though I think it's only one fight for Pereira, but based on what he's done at welterweight. And I think both these guys have a high ceiling. They both got some skills. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. But I think the A side might be Pereira. You know what I mean? If it's a decision, I bet you they give it to Pereira. But he better be careful because Alexei Chuck can crack really contrast in styles in this fight, if you will. So I am
Yeah.
excited, very excited about it. Continuing on, next up the card, we have Yuan Kutalaba against Philippe Lins. I don't think this is exciting. A lot of people, both tough guys. Kutalaba is such an intense guy, and he's got some wrestling. He looked really good stopping Tanner Boser in his first fight in Tanner Boser's first fight at light heavyweight. And and after coming off 3 losses to Ryan Spann, Johnny Walker, and Kennedy Nzechukwu, losing all 3 of them by stoppage, he's now back on the right side with a win from almost 1 full year ago. And at 30 years old, still young, 6'1", 205, decent sized guy, slightly short for the division, but not much, and very tough. Record of 17-9 with 15 finishes, mostly knockouts. So if he beats you, he usually finishes you. And then when he loses, he gets finished. On the flip side of it, Felipe Lins is going to be the Brazilian here. I believe the taller of the 2 fighters. No, also 6'1". And he had fought at heavyweight, and 17-5 with 13 finishes. So again, finishers. This is the last few months we've been seeing a lot of finishers featured against each other. 38 years old, though, a bit past his prime. And he is on a 3-fight win streak, having beat Marcin Prachnio, Ovince St. Preux, or the shell of what was Ovince St. Preux, and Maxim Grishin. His last fight being June of last year. He had lost to Tanner Boser and Andrei Arlovsky at heavyweight, and is a pretty tough guy, though, at light heavyweight. So Brazil versus the other guy, Kudlov, is from Moldova. I seem to remember the Republic. Yeah, Moldova. This one, I would imagine probably Linz will be a slight favorite. Let me take a look here. No, slight favorite, Kutalaba, very close. So I don't get much of a read on this one. I don't think there's a lot of plays here except for the fight doesn't go the distance, but there's probably no money in that. Let me know what you're seeing on this one and what might be the best play as far as for wagering in this one.
Yeah, I think I kind of lean towards Kutalaba. I think he can probably have success with the takedowns. He does go for a lot of takedowns. Sometimes he can kind of get caught into a bit of a slugfest, and he often doesn't win those. So if he's smart, he'll come in, he'll go for takedowns, really try to lean on Lins, and hopefully he doesn't get tired. One prop I've been interested in, but haven't really seen available yet. They're really late on some of these props for this card. Um, would be for Kutalaba to get takedowns. Seen last week with what's his name, Gardiev. going down to Rosenstreak. Gaziev's to get a takedown was minus 130, and to win he was minus 200, which to me was just crazy. Like, how could you bet him to win over betting him to get a takedown? He wasn't going to win that fight without takedowns, and obviously he didn't. He got one takedown, and then he lost the fight. So you got a much better line on him just to get a takedown than you did for him to win. So I'm hoping for something similar like that on the Kudalaba side. If I get anywhere minus 200 on him, something to get a takedown, I'm definitely going to bet that. But that's really all I would be interested in. Maybe you could bet Kudalaba decision. I don't see him finishing Lens, or like you said with Lens, if he wins, it's probably an early KO. So there's so many good spots on this card. I'm not really forcing anything. So unless I see a good prop on the takedown, I'll probably leave this one be and just enjoy the fight.
Makes sense. I would agree on that. Coming right after that is going to be a couple of good ones. Pedro Munoz and Kyler Phillips. This is interesting because you have Munoz, who's the veteran here. I got to believe he's nearly 40, 37. 20 wins, 8 losses, 13 finishes. He has not had 2 wins in a row for about the last 5 years. And at one point, he had a good 3-fight win streak. But recently, he lost to Aljo in a close fight, lost to Frankie Edgar, beat Jimmy Rivera, lost to Jose Aldo and Dominic Cruz, and no contest against Sugar Sean with the eye poke. Beat Chris Gutierrez and then did lose to Marlon Chito Vera, and fought everyone there is to fight. Real veteran, tough guy, and 37 years old, though, which at 135 is definitely old, where you just need your reflexes tremendously. Kyler Phillips Matrix is only 28 years old, 11-2, 7 finishes, and he's coming off 2-fight win streak after having been killing it and then losing that close decision to Raulian Paiva, which could have gone either way. He's since beaten Marcelo Rojo, and he did beat Raoni Barcelo. So they've, you know what, though? He's the level of competition, though, is the question here. I would imagine they're going to make this fight pretty close, too. Let's take a look. Maybe they're going to make Munoz slight favorite, maybe, or let's slight dog. And wow, they got Kyler Phillips at about 1.75 to 1 favorite. I don't know. I mean, Kyler Phillips will be the A side here, the younger guy, the hot prospect. It's going to be a test, though. Munoz is just at 37, though, at this weight class. It's going to be a big ask, but if he might have one left in, I'm not surprised. And I think this fight probably does not go the distance. But I don't know that I'd bet much money on this one. I think that at these odds, Munoz is live. I don't know if I'd lay that chalk minus 210 or minus 220 on Kyler Phillips, although on paper he should win. What do you think?
No, I think you hit the money right on the head, mate. I think Munoz. I mean, you just read his wins and losses. I mean, he's only lost to the very best guys, and a lot of the time, these guys were in their primes. You know, he's lost to really good guys. Everybody he lost to, I think, also would have beat Phillips.
Yeah,
You know, like you can't really. Oh, he's lost to this guy, lost to that guy. One of the guys he lost to, he's fighting for the belt this weekend.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? The other two losses, his last 2 losses, they've held the belt.
Yep.
You know, he's lost to really good guys, a lot of great experience. I was surprised at this line too. I've already got a bet in on Munoz. I'm also going to bet him to win by decision, and for him to win by split decision is plus 1100. So I've hit that as well. I think it does go the distance. They both seem to see the scorecards a lot. Uh, Phillips slows down a lot in his fights. That's one thing I noticed. He really does slow down, and when you add in the leg kicks that is going to be coming his way from Pedro. Pedro, a massive part of his game is leg kicks. He just leg kicks everybody. It's when they show the significant strikes during his fights, a lot of that is leg kicks. And Phillips already, he bounces around a lot. He can be quite mobile and rely on his reflexes. Come round 3, they're not going to be there. I think he probably wins round 1 close. Round 2 might be even closer, and round 3, I think Munoz wins. So I think split decision is probably a good bet here. Like I said, I've already got Munoz to win by split at plus 1100, and I've also got his money line as well. So yeah, I really like Munoz. Munoz. He's my favorite underdog on the card.
Sounds kind of second. Well, All right, wait a second. I'm back. I was away for a
You're back.
second here. All right, let's fix this. Let's get this fixed up. And there we go. Hey, all of a sudden I ended up on the beach in over in Perth. What happened? Look,
Yeah,
it's
looking nice.
beautiful. Is that it? With what did you say? I didn't hear that.
No, no, it looks good, mate. You're at the beach now. That's good.
That's it. Always had to just jump over there real quick, kind of go through the time space continuum, as they would say back in the day. So, in any case, getting back to here, there, the water's good. So we're gonna get this rocket and go for a swim back there. My personal beach with my personal palm tree here in Australia. Where are we?
Yeah.
Okay,
So
so
I'm not sure if you caught the end of that, but
tell me,
yeah, I'm
I'm
on
sorry.
Munoz too,
Yeah,
which is good because often when you and me are on the same underdog, it cashes. So
yeah, I noticed
fingers
that.
crossed.
Yeah, I hope so. I think so too. I feel I feel more like more confidence in Pedro inside the distance because I feel like the judges are notorious for giving it to the younger guy, the prospect. So I'm going to be nervous, but I do think that Pedro is live in this fight. Although Phillips really, with that controversial decision again, it was Paiva, really essentially, were he to have received that decision, is on like a 12 fight win streak, and he's
Yeah,
got that confidence probably. I'm sure he feels he didn't lose that, but still, he's going up a notch here in competition, indeed.
absolutely.
Okay. Yep. All right. The Matrix here, we're talking about. So continuing on up this card here, and we have we'll go a little bit faster over these next few because I think we perhaps may only have 15 or 20 minutes left. So Matus Gamrot, Rafael dos Anjos. This is just a very weird fight. Gamrot is a guy who just seems to come up a bit short in certain occasions, but then looks great in others. He's coming off a win over Jalen Turner and Rafael Fiziev. The Jalen Turner was a split decision, really close, and then he did beat Fiziev, who ended up with a knee injury. And then he did lose to Benil Darius before that, but then did beat Arman Saruki and Diego Ferreira. A lot of good guys. He's 33 years old, and he's got a record of 23-2 with 13 finishes. A great fighter out of Poland. Tough guys there. And his opponent, Rafael dos Anjos, is going to be the older fighter. I think he's 40. He's got to be 40. Let me see. No, 39. 1 year
He's
off. Yeah,
close.
yeah, very, very close. October, he'll be
Yeah.
40. 32-15, 47 total fights are under his belt, 16 finishes. Lost to Vicente Luque. Before that, beat Brian Barberina. Lost to Fiziev, beat Carnero and Felder. This is an interesting fight. It's before I look at the odds, I'm going to say Gamrot should be favored here by about 2-1. Wow, 4.5-1. Gamrot is favored. I mean, Gamrot should win this fight. Essentially, what he does is similar to what Dos Anjos does. Striking maybe in favor of Dos Anjos, but at 39, I may be thinking about it would have been in favor of Dos Anjos 5 years ago, and
Yeah.
perhaps not now. I don't like those odds though, because Dos Anjos is a tough guy and a former champion. Um, but Gamrot should win this fight, but no way would I want to lay minus 440 or minus, 480 or minus 500. Dos Anjos has not was stopped by Fiziev. Otherwise, he doesn't really get stopped. And Gamrot himself is a guy that really doesn't get stopped either. And so I would say that the matchup here probably is going to be, well, fight goes to decision, maybe Gamrot by decision, I would imagine. What are the odds on that? Maybe minus 200?
For Gamrot decision to win by decision.
Yeah.
Let's have a quick look. Sorry, just bear with me one sec.
No problem. No problem. And Gamrot's the taller
Oh,
fighter.
yeah, it is. It's like minus 180, something like that.
Yeah, to me, and
Yeah.
and I know I'm overlapping into your area of expertise, but I guess we both are experts in that. I feel to me that's probably the bet, or maybe a small underdog sprinkle on just the money line for Dos Anjos. I don't have a lot of confidence, and I like Dos Anjos so much, but I think his skills have been diminishing, gradually. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Dos Anjos, he's got a lot of losses on his record. And if you delve a bit deeper, These losses, man, I mean, it's always to wrestlers. You know, he lost to Khabib, yeah, no issues there. He's always going to lose to Khabib. But Khabib took him down 6 times. Um, Kamaru Usman, another great wrestler, took him down 12 times. Colby took him down 7 times. Even, as he's getting a bit older, Leon Edwards took him down 3 times.
Like,
Michael Chiesa took him down 6 times.
although he is back at
Yeah.
lightweight here, but
Yeah,
still,
yeah, I
yes,
understand. Yeah,
but
he is
still, yeah,
moving back down to lightweight, which is definitely where he's done his best work. But even in his last fight, Vicente Luque took him down 8 times, and
he's
Luque
not a
doesn't really
wrestler.
take
Yeah,
anybody down.
he's not really a wrestler.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so like you said, 39 years old. Um, and he's definitely going against a grappler. He's going to get wrestled in this fight. He's going to have to defend takedowns or get takedowns, and I don't really see him doing either one. I think Gamrot's definitely going to be the fresher guy. He's going to have the better cardio than a 39-year-old Dos Anjos in a grappling match. I really think Gamrot probably just really out grapples him in a decision here. I'd
that's what
like
I
to
was
see
thinking.
Dos Anjos get a win,
Be
but I
great.
just don't think it's on the cards from here. That this is a setup spot for Gamrot to get a name on his record, a good name in the former champion Dos Anjos. But yeah, I don't think his chances are that great, to be honest.
So the good play, as I mentioned, you'd feel would be Gamrot by decision.
Yeah, yeah. Even then, you're laying chalk, you're laying minus money, so I don't really like
Yeah,
doing that.
yeah,
So yeah, I
understood.
might just pass on that one.
Understood. Makes sense. Wouldn't blame you at all. All right, next up we have the former Caitlin Chukagian, now Caitlin Sermonera, against Macy Barber. This is a really interesting fight. And Macy Barber is kind of the heel of women's MMA. She wins without winning for a lot of her fights. She gets decisions go her way virtually every time. She's very young. She's very cocky. She came in talking about she's going to be the youngest UFC champion ever, and she's already blown that. And at 25 years old, though, a lot of experience, 15 fights at only 25 years old, and 8 finishes, coming off 5 victories, but were they? Miranda Maverick, most everyone felt she lost. Against Montana De La Rosa, I think that was close. Jessica I. Andrea Lee was another split decision. Amanda Hebus was convincing, but instead of being on a 5-fight win streak, she could just as easily have been 3-2 or even 2-3 in her last 5 fights. So I'm not super impressed. She does like to grapple. She's not really great at anything, but she's got a good chin. She's got good cardio, and she tends to finish strong. Um, but she did lose to Alexa Grasso. I think Grasso's become better since then. That was 3 years ago. But still, that was impressive. She's fought some good fighters for a young fighter, but Caitlin Sermonara has fought everyone there is to fight. 35 years old, so a 10-year age difference. The height is going to be fairly substantial. Caitlin's always taller than her opponents at 5'9". And in this case, she will be indeed 4 inches taller, 4 inches taller than Macy Barber. What's Caitlin been up to? Caitlin has come off a loss against Manon Fior, but Fior is a real force. Fior's got that fight coming up against Aaron Blanchfield, I think, which is going to be very interesting. And then before that, though, Caitlin was on a good little streak, beating Cynthia Calvillo, Viviane Araujo, Jennifer Maya, and Amanda Hebas. A split decision, barely getting by Amanda Hebas, whereas Macy Barber did smash Amanda Hebas in the second round. Still, this is another close fight. I think the A side is definitely Barber, and they're going to make her favorite for sure. And of course, she is 2-1. And the judges like giving Macy Barber victories. And who has Caitlin Chukagian stopped? You know, right? So last time Caitlin Chukagian stopped somebody, was it ever? Yes, she did stop someone named Stephanie Bragirak in CFFC in 2016 in 45 seconds with a knee. And then in her previous 15 fights, I think she didn't stop anyone. So really the only way Caitlin has to win this fight is by decision, but decisions are always given to Macy Barber. What's the proposition for Barber by decision?
Barber decision is
Should be plus something maybe.
Plus, yeah, plus 115.
To
Caitlin is plus 250.
Right, right. And that's not bad. Both of those are fair wagers. So I'm going to throw it to you for your expertise on that. In all honesty, I've never been a Macy Barber fan. I've spoken with Caitlin Chikagian, very nice girl, very nice girl. She takes a lot of heat because she's just fought all the best girls and hasn't quite measured up to some of them. She's a black belt in jiu-jitsu or a brown belt, but she likes striking better, but she has that kind of karate point style. She doesn't know a lot of, she's very fighting thin. She's fighting at a weight class probably lower than she should be at, but she just, I think, felt she didn't have the power for these bigger girls at 135. But I'd like to see Caitlin Chukagian win this. However, I just don't, maybe the judges will be sick of the fact that Macy Barber gets all these victories. We're down to 10 minutes left, so maybe give me your quick thought on the best thing,
All
and
right.
then let's
I'll
move
give
on.
you a real quick.
Yeah, yeah,
You said it yourself. These girls fight close in every fight. They've got a combined, I think, 6 split decisions, and they've both won a lot of unanimous decisions that could have been splits as well. This fight to go to split decision is the lowest I've ever seen it at plus 275,
mm,
which I think is crazy. She's like the fight goes to split is 275. Caitlin to win by split is plus 900. Like, why? How can you not say there's value in that plus 900? You
yeah,
can't just assume only one judge is going to get it wrong.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yep.
So, yeah, I'm definitely going to have some Caitlin by split plus 900.
Makes sense. Okay, so we better blaze through these other ones quick. So Curtis Blades, Jailton Almeida. That's a really interesting fight. The better wrestler is Blades. Striking is fairly even. Blades, certainly the inferior submission artist and jiu-jitsu guy, 33 years old, 6'4", solid heavyweight at over 260 pounds, 17-4 with 12 finishes, all by KO. Has he ever been subbed? Derek Lewis lost KO, Francis Ngannou, stoppage. So no, this is very interesting. We have a submission expert against a man who has never been submitted. This is an interesting fight. I've interviewed Curtis several times. Really good guy. I hope he wins here. I bet they're going to make him a slight dog, but probably not by too much. Let's see. Yeah, very slight dog. Really close. I think Curtis Blades can win this fight. It's dangerous, but I think Curtis Blades can win this fight either by stoppage or decision. And I know that if you bet at money line, it's dead even, but I bet there's some plus money with Curtis by both decision and stoppage, right?
Yeah, definitely. I've already got some Curtis by decision. It's plus 400.
Nice.
I really was surprised when I looked deeper into these fights. Almeida in his like how many fights he had 5 or 6 UFC fights. I
Yeah.
think he's landed less than 10 strikes
Right.
standing.
Yeah. He
All
just,
of his strikes are from top control,
yep.
and I don't think he's going to get any top control in this fight. I think the
No.
fight is going to be where Blades wants it to be. Now, if that means Blades shoots for a takedown and maybe gets guillotine choked, or if maybe Almeida gets a sweep, he's got good sweeps from the bottom. But I see a lot of this fight being
On the
Curtis
feet.
Blades holding him against the cage, peppering him up, putting a lot of weight on him, maybe going for takedowns, playing it safe. When Almeida gets up, he likes that to hold you kind of in that turtle crouch position against the cage.
Yep.
I think this fight's not going to be the fireworks everyone thinks it's going to be.
Right.
I think Blades is going to fight safe, fight to decision, and get a pretty easy win here. I don't think Almeida has a chance unless he can get him down, or at
Yeah.
least he hasn't shown it. Maybe he's been saving all his striking striking expertise and power that we haven't really seen. But I think Blades is going to fight from distance, a lot of leg kicks until it's time to clinch, and he's going to be the one doing the clinching.
Yep.
Much bigger, stronger guy. I think Almeida's better off at light heavyweight. I think that's where he's going to probably do his best work. But yeah,
Yep.
I'm going to take some Blades decision, and I'll probably have some of his money line just in case.
Gotcha. Okay, we only have 6.5 minutes, so we got to blaze through this. Peter Yan and Song Yadong. I don't like either fighter. I really don't. And it's nearly an even fight. Piotr Yan, slight favorite. I don't care about this fight. Song Yadong should win this fight, but I hope they both lose. I'm not a fan of either of these guys. Give me a quick 30
Yeah.
seconds because we're
This will be a quick one. This is another one I think's going the distance. Probably going to be a split. They both get a lot of split decisions. Yeah, I'm just going to probably take some split decision and just enjoy the fight in
Makes
this one.
makes sense. Then we have Gilbert Burns, a very good guy I've interviewed before, against Jack Della Maddalena. Gilbert is 37 years old, though. So many great fights. He got injured early against Bilal Muhammad, so you know he wants to get that bad taste out of his mouth against the Aussie, Jack Della Maddalena out of Perth, Western Australia. So this is going to be a good fight. Jack Della Maddalena did get by Kevin Holland, but didn't look brilliant in that fight. He got by the Habibi, Basil Hafez, didn't look brilliant in that fight. 2 split decisions in a row. He's a tough guy. I think he's the A side here, but this is a dangerous fight for your mate there, your fellow Aussie, and he is a favorite here. I got Gilbert Burns as the underdog pulling the upset, but not with a lot of confidence. I think this fight does not go the distance, although I wouldn't bet a lot of money on that. Give me maybe 1 minute of your thoughts on this and the best bets.
Yeah, I think pretty much you've said it. I think the younger guy, Jack Della, I would have liked to have taken a bet on Burns by submission. I still might, but I don't know how serious he's taken it. I seen him the other day. He was at the Detroit versus the Heat basketball game. I
Mm.
was in an MMA space with some friends of ours, and I popped Gilbert Burns. I don't know how serious he's taken. I know he's a lot older now, but Jack Della Maddalena on the feet is just a wrecking machine at Burns' age. If he doesn't get takedowns, and he might, if he does, he's probably going to have his chance at a submission over Jack. But I think Jack's probably going to just his youth and strength and everything. I think he's going to be able to probably keep it up and get it done. But I was leaning towards Burns, but now I've kind of jumped over to Aussie
Makes
Jack.
sense. Makes sense. This can be a good fight. I'm excited for a very good fight. A lot of ramifications for the winner being definitely in the mix for sure. Kevin Holland, Michael Page, and we got to do this, and then we got to do the co-main and the main, and we have 4 minutes flat right now, so we better go quick on this one. I'd love to see Kevin Holland win this one. I've interviewed him a few times. I talked to and I've interviewed and done some breakdowns with one of his top training partners and co-manager, Justin Adams, and love to see him win this one. He is a slight favorite, surprisingly enough. The A side, obviously, is Michael Venom Page, the Brit. I think this fight will not go the distance. It was going to be my bet. I wonder if there's any money on that. I hope Kevin Holland wins. If it's a decision, they will probably give it to the A side, which will be Michael Page, Venom Page. But my thought would be fight does not go the distance. Well, what kind of money can we get on that?
Let's just quickly check what the fuck at the distance. Oh, you get a good number on it. Fight to not go the distance is plus 118,
Okay,
which is
nice.
surprising to me. I don't think it goes the distance either. I mean, if this fight is anything other than fireworks, then they're going to be upset with MVP.
Yeah, yeah,
That's why they brought him over here. They didn't bring him over here to fight, clinch, and stand at distance. They want to see somebody get their head caved in.
yep,
And it's probably going to happen because Holland's probably going to give him that fight. Holland's not going to fight smart. He's not going to take him down.
right.
This is probably going to be just a stand-up war, and I hope it's over in the first round.
Yeah.
And whoever wins, I hope they do it spectacular fashion.
Yeah, me too. I'd love to see it. 2 minutes, 40 seconds here. Dustin Poirier, Benoit Saint Denis. Really good wrestler, the God of War, 13-1 with 13 finishes. However, the biggest name he's beaten is Thiago Moises. And he beat him, and Matt Frivola looked great, very impressive fighter. He did lose to Elezu Deleski dos Santos, 1 division higher at 170. So he's undefeated at 155, 28 years old, 5'11", out of Bayonne, France. Dustin Poirier, way more experience. 35 years old, coming off that loss to Gaethje. This is such a tough one. They better make the favorite Poirier, and they have not. Almost two to
They've got no faith in Poirier. No, it's
yeah, that's ridiculous. I got Poirier. I think Poirier is live in this fight. Wouldn't bet a whole lot of money, but I'm not going to lay this money on Benoit Saint Denis against a guy that good. 1:45 though, so give me maybe 45
I'll be
seconds
real
here.
quick. Yeah, I think Dustin Poirier's decision at plus 700. I've got some money on that, but I think Saint Denis probably takes him down and gets the neck, gets a submission. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, could very well be. Should be an exciting fight though, and Saint Denis better not make any mistakes. And Poirier, this will show what he has left here for sure.
Yeah, yeah. And with the main event, I would say, because we're running out of time,
Yeah,
I'll quickly say, yeah, I think Vera, same again, plus 700 for decision. I think that's great. But I also got him submission. He's got 10 wins by submission. His submission is plus 1600. I think that's crazy. I got a decent bet on him to win by submission or decision.
And the money line plus 210, plus 215
Money
on
line is
Vera.
good too. I mean, it's
Yeah,
yeah. I mean,
the only thing I wouldn't do is Vera by decision because I think they will not give Vera the decision in this fight. The A side is the golden boy, Sugar Sean. We got maybe 30 seconds left, but yeah. So I think we're all over Vera in many different bets here. He's live in this fight, and
definitely.
if he somehow gets punched and goes unconscious, then something's going to be smelling like fishy to me. So I don't think so. All the fish are behind me though over there in the ocean there. Anyway, always great to chat with you, my good friend and mate, Aussie fight fan. And let's see how we do. Usually when we're together, we knock it out of the park. So, man, I really appreciate you a lot. And you guys check us out on UF Combat. Stay tuned. Take care, brother. Good to see you. Thank you all for watching.
You too, mate.
Peace. See you. And there we go. And